So this is going to be a first for this video, um, and you'll see why. Uh, upon reading about Muhammad Kalish, the professor in Germany, that the very conservative Shia professor who everybody was concerned about and thought he was too conservative in Germany, he came out and said that in all likelihood Muhammad did not exist because he wanted to put Islam under the same scrutiny as people put Judaism and Christianity and see if it stands up. Well, the university quickly, as soon as he said that, stopped him from speaking or teaching any other teachers about Islam. Many Islamic groups pulled their support, uh, and I just realized this is very strange. It's something to be noticed too. You notice that there are many Christians, people who call themselves Christians, ministers and priests who say Jesus never existed, but there's no death threats there. This reminds me of Thanksgiving. Whenever we'd go, the family would get together for Thanksgiving, the whole extended family, cousins, cousins of cousins, everybody, there'd be the grown-ups tables, and there'd be the kids table. Uh, Islam, I think if we look at religions, uh, we have to see that most religions are like, when I'm speaking of the communities now, and this is why this video is different, because I've never addressed the Islamic community. Uh, when dealing with other groups of religions, they all seem to be very adult. And people speak to the Christian community as if it's a grizzled truck driver who's a Vietnam vet. Say anything you want, be as harsh as you want, suck it up. They can take it. Well, Islam is a whiny little girl. It has a childish view of sex. It has a childish view of women. It has a childish view of human rights. It has a very childish view of animals. All this stuff. And it demands to be treated. Everybody has to speak to it like a little kid, like a little whiny kid. Now, and it's demanding to be at the big people table, screaming and crying like a spoiled little brat. Uh, Whenever anybody addresses anything about Islam, it's because Islam will throw a temper tantrum, might start breaking stuff, might start hitting and kicking people. It's that little white boy named like Colton or Morgan or Cody that the very yuppie parents don't want to discipline because oh well he's just expressing himself. Yeah. And it gets talked to like a mother talking to a bratty child in the mall that doesn't want to be throw a temper tantrum and embarrass her. Because Islam demands to be treated with kitty gloves. It is not mature. We could see this. You could say historically it's a young religion, but I mean, it doesn't matter. It's childish. It acts like a child. Where all other communities are grown adults. We're big people now. And I've had to say this to people on here. I'd say something about the existence of Muhammad or the warlike nature of early Islam, and fuck you, cocksucking motherfucker. You're a big person now. Act like it. I'd have to type that back as if swears and threats. How is this acceptable? And Islam can say the most brutal and hateful things, and even the leftists. Oh well, because the leftists are racist because they view all the little brown people. I've always seen Arabs as white Westerners because they are. That's Western civilization. Maybe if you go farther east, farther east than the Tigris and Euphrates, you may consider Persia. But Persia is totally Western, more Western so than maybe the Arabs. Uh, this is totally ridiculous. The Muslims. Oh, we're Muslims. We're hardcore. No, you're fags. You're acting like a bunch of fags. Like, and I mean that in the way that South Park creators uh, meant it. You're just whining and crying, and you insist that everybody speak to you with the kid gloves on, with the kitty, in the kitty voice. and you're really explaining it, and you'll get a Snickers bar afterwards, and people like Daisy Khan are immature. They're children, they're babies. They refuse to grow up, and they throw temper tantrums. When the Christian community has had to deal with things, it had to show extreme restraint, more restraint than we've seen anywhere by anyone. Uh, it, the Christian community acts like a high-ranking officer. He's been through a lot of war. You could put a knife through his hand and he won't scream out. Uh, Islam is a whiny little brat, snotty little girl that wants everything. That's all I hear when I hear the Muslim community outraged at all these things like cartoons or academic scholarship. They're psychologically retarded. They're in a state of retardation because you can see a scholar, a Muslim scholar that says Islam is good and that it's not important that Muhammad lived. It's just the fact that there is one God and the oneness of God, which you still can remain a Muslim by that definition, uh, is getting death threats because he did a scholarly inquiry in Germany. Bunch of whining bitches. That's what it winds up being. And this, I don't. Let me tell you, this is not an example of Muslims in America that I know. I personally know they're great people. Showed enormous restraint. But the Islamic community is a global thing. It's a global thing. Absolutely. Whining little child. Peace to you. Think of things that you could say about Christianity, and then try to say that about Islam, and see how the two sides react. And you know what? Do that with basically any other religion in Islam. Doesn't work. Everybody else is at the big people table, and the whining little crying little valley girl. Well, not even a valley girl. Crying little brat little girl is at the is demanding to be at the big people's table, and everybody's talking to her in hushed tones, and it's fine, and it'll make her feel good because that's what we've done. Well, we're going to bring them into the dialogue because it'll make them feel good, and maybe this, no, grow up.